Good afternoon, Dr. Bryson. This is Brighton Green going over my Hume 301 artifact, the book by Friedrich Nietzsche called Thus Spoke Zarthustra, a book for all and none. Now, the two pictures right here are Thus Spake Zarthustra, which is just another representation of the book. So, a little summary before I delve into more nitty-gritty about it. I'm going to go over the entire book real quick. So it opens about a tale about Zarthustra who is going around spreading wisdom about this thing called the Overman. Now, Zarthustra is a character to represent Nietzsche's philosophy and Friedrich Nietzsche himself. What the Overman is the end goal of humanity. It is when a person can overcome themselves and live by their rules, not by society's or anyone else's, as I guess, quote-unquote, general ideas about regular people. So, to achieve the Overman, you must go through your trials and hardships, which Nietzsche stressed very, very much in his philosophies, saying that that's the reason you are who you are, because of your hardships and such like that. And throughout the story, I'll go through it more detailed in the end, but he bashes Christianity, Zarthustra, by saying, he. And then since Zarthustra represents Nietzsche, Nietzsche throughout his philosophies also bashes organized religion, Christianity, and its major philosophies. So throughout the story, he had trouble getting people to listen to what he had to say generally about the Overman, but he eventually gets numerous people to listen and achieve Overman, but some people just don't. So throughout the time, like I said, he goes throughout, I guess, his land and is going through and trying to explain to people the wisdom he had because he was in isolation for the past 10 years. Very eager about spreading the wisdom about the Overman, he then goes to this town called Motley Cow. Not Motley Crew, but Motley Cow. And he tells the meaning of Earth, and it has to be this concept of the Overman. This concept is explained as a person who is free from judgments and the ideas of society. When he first comes to the idea of telling people about the Overman, not a lot of people listen. In the book, it references the only listener was a tightrope walker, because he was going against the reason why they used the analogy in the story of the tightrope walker was because the concept of tightrope walking is very dangerous and there aren't really rules to it. The only rules is to not die. Whereas everyone else would see that as dangerous and outgoing and, absurd. The tightrope walker sees that as a challenge and as fun to him. So he then becomes upset, and then he tries a new strategy. Instead of trying to educate the mass amount of people and trying to get them all on board, he tries to educate individuals intrigued by the information of what he has to say instead. So while he's going through, he's actually getting more success going through the individual people rather than going to the groups. So throughout his speeches, it speaks on three main parts mainly. That all the three different pieces are pieces of Nietzsche's philosophy, because, as stated earlier, Zarthustra is Nietzsche, just represented as a character. Like I said in a brief overview real quick about the struggles and hardships, they believed that this was the only way to get to Overman, was to battle through your hardships, battle through the tough times. And because Nietzsche held that as such a high value scale in his philosophy, it was easy to see, kind of connect the two. So Zarthustra is very critical and judgmental towards the masses of organized religion, especially Christianity, which, throughout Nietzschean philosophy, you can clearly tell by that as well. Nietzsche has also been said that Christianity's hatred of the body and other worldly things, and then they reference the exact same thing inside Zarthustra. But they say that Christianity is by denying the items of the body and of the material world that we believe in. That's why we believe a spiritual life and an afterlife, is because we deny these things that are true. it's put into simple. Zarthustra's sermons and speeches are all put into one simple idea. All of the same events will keep on continuing to happen for all of eternity. If you wish to control what happens for all of eternity, you must first become overmen. You must achieve overmen, since they are the ones who can take the responsibility and live outside the realm of rules from the general society. So at the end of the story, he ends up grabbing a good chunk of followers, taking them back to the cave that he spent the isolation in, and some of them achieve overmen, some of them were close, but they weren't able to achieve it, but they're still welcome to stay and feast and have celebrations. Thank you so much, Dr. Bryson. This is Bright and Green with my 301 artifact.